Third and final stage of qualifying sees a massive swing game in Group A between a big favorite and a stirring underdog. It is Panama and Suriname from the Estadio Romel Fernandez in Panama City, live across the region and around the world. I'm Donnie Barnes. We see the weather conditions in Panama City tonight, 80 degrees at match time, very little wind. There was rain throughout the evening, but that has tapered off for now. It will be a slick surface tonight. And here's the situation in Group A, an incredibly tight group. Suriname on top due to the second tiebreaker, which is goals scored. They're even on points and in goal differential with Panama. El Salvador on 3 points, Guatemala not out of it yet on 2. El Salvador and Guatemala, by the way, will kick off an hour after this game, so they will play each other tonight as well. We will keep you posted on the first half of that game after it begins later on. But Suriname on top of the group, entering this game on that second tiebreaker. They and Panama tied on points and goal differential. After tonight, there will only be 2 games left in this final round. So a win for either team here would be a giant step toward the FIFA World Cup next summer. Remember that only the group winner gets a direct ticket to the World Cup. There are those 2 best second-place finishing spots also available, the 2 best runners-up in these 3 groups in CONCACAF's final qualifying round will advance to the Interconfederation playoffs next March for a final chance at qualifying, but it is much simpler, of course, to win your group. And because this particular group is so tight and all 4 teams are so close together, there's a good chance that this group will be the one out of the 3 that doesn't end up with one of those best second-place teams because they're taking so many points away from each other. So it appears that you might have to win your group to have any chance at the World Cup, to punch that ticket for next summer. And so that makes this game even more important. Remember, this final qualifying round, 6 total round-robin games over 3 international windows. It started in September. It will end next month. There are very different levels of pressure on these 2 sides tonight. For Panama, qualifying for this World Cup is seen as an absolute must, even though they've only been there once in their history. This historically baseball-crazed nation has seen huge growth from their national team over the past couple decades. They, of course, made their first World Cup in 2018. They were bitterly disappointed not to get there last time around in 2022. But under the critically acclaimed 5-year tenure of head coach Thomas Christensen, they have become a side that plays attractive, skillful, possession-based soccer. They've beaten the United States multiple times. They've given Mexico very difficult games. They've become the top power in Central America, which was rarely the case previously. But they've been very honest about the fact that all of this progress and status only matters if they make it to the World Cup. And to not do so would be unthinkable. And after slipping to 2 draws to start this final qualifying round, there was deep anxiety around Panama that they were letting it slip away. But they answered those anxieties with a gritty 1-0 win in El Salvador last Friday to get right back into the race in this group. They want to build on that tonight because Suriname are playing with far less pressure but no less desire. The 2020s, a decade of rapid and impressive progress for Suriname. The small nation on the northern edge of South America improving their national program immensely since allowing dual nationals to play for their team. That, of course, has opened up that very rich Surinamese diaspora in Holland and other parts of the world to their talent pool. So here in Panama City, a massively consequential night. We'll hear the anthems of these 2 nations, see the starting 11s, and bring you kickoff. Will Panama reassert themselves as heavy group favorites, or will Suriname move to the brink of a historic and shocking achievement? Panama, Suriname on the road to the FIFA World Cup 2026. It is next.
Damas y caballeros, para entonar las glorias
A roar of Panamanian pride and passion here at the Estadio Romel Fernandez tonight. Panama and Suriname in the final round of Concacaf World Cup qualifying. These two sides enter this match tied atop Group A, but Suriname on top due to the second tiebreaker. That is total goals scored in the group stage so far. They're tied on points, tied on goal differential, but Suriname top the table for now. If it ended today, they would be in the World Cup next summer, but of course, it does not end today. A big game tonight. Here's the starting 11 for the home side Panama, who hope to top Group A by the end of tonight. Led by head coach Tomas Christensen, Orlando Mosquera is in goal once again. They make just one change from that 1-0 win in El Salvador several days ago. It was a forced change. Jose Cordoba had to leave that game early with an injury. Giovanni Ramos then starts in his place, but everything else the exact same. Jose Fajardo begins up top. He scored that key goal to give them a rare win in El Salvador. Here are our match officials for tonight, led by Selvin Brown, our center referee, assisted by Gerson Orellana and Ronnie Salinas. Ricangel de Leca is the fourth official tonight. As the captains meet at midfield, we see the starting 11 for Suriname, who also make only one change from their last gasp 1-1 draw against Guatemala a few days ago. It is Radinho Balker who comes into the back line as head coach Stanley Menzo goes to 5 at the back, a 5-4-1 after he played 4 in the back at home against Guatemala last week. So Radinho Balker in. Jaron Sherry will be the lone striker up top to begin this game. As we see the VAR room for tonight, led by David Gomez of Costa Rica, assisted by Anthony Bravo. Well, Stanley Menzo played for Ajax as a goalkeeper, was a goalkeeper ahead of his time in many ways. He was very adept with his feet, playing out from the back, long before that was in vogue, as it has been recently in the modern game. Tomas Christensen, also a disciple of Johan Cruyff. Both these managers very inspired and influenced by Cruyff. And they go head-to-head along with their two nations tonight with so much on the line. Panama in the red, Suriname in the white. Panama, again, under the weight of expectation, under the weight of obligation. Suriname playing with nothing to lose, but so much to gain. They've already turned heads and engendered so much pride around the Surinamese diaspora. And if they could take that next step and actually qualify for their first ever FIFA World Cup, that would be absolutely incredible for the growth of their nation, both in a sporting sense and even in other ways as well. Selvin Brown, the man in the middle for this one tonight. A draw would be a good result in this one for Suriname. Panama feel obligated to win. And this crowd, all dressed in red, will be roaring them on, hoping to see exactly that. Whistle to lips, and we are rolling in Panama City in this final stage of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. Panama, Suriname tied on points for the top spot and the direct World Cup berth in Group A. Head-to-head in a game that could decide who will be in that big dance next summer. Early possession for Panama. They want to force the issue and get on the attack in this game. Christian Martinez pressuring and causing the turnover. Ball forward, picked up, played out wide. Martinez shifts onto his right, gets the cross in, but it's taken by Etienne Vassen, their 30-year-old goalkeeper for Suriname. He's only recently become the starter for this national side. Plays with a ton of confidence, a ton of swagger, very aggressive off his line, sometimes gets himself in some interesting situations because of that. And also cleans up a lot of loose balls that bounce anywhere close to his 18-yard box. He's made some crucial saves in this qualifying campaign as well. Suriname figured to be fairly conservative early in this game, but they do have a lot of speed in their side. They can counter very aggressively when they get the chance. Again, many of these Surinamese players play in Holland and came up through top Dutch academies like Ajax and PSV and others. The skill level of Suriname's national team has increased so much over this last half decade. This is a foul and a free kick for Panama. So even though Suriname have gone through a tough period in their national team since the early 80s, they got close to a World Cup in the late 70s. It's the closest they've ever been. Got to the final round of Concacaf qualifying that year as well before falling short. They've not been really anywhere close since, but the government allowing dual nationals to play for their national side 4 years ago changed everything for them. Tomas Christensen has changed a lot for Panama since he took over 5 years ago, implementing this very attractive style that many didn't think Panama could play. Now he has to prove, and they have to prove, that it's good enough to get them to a World Cup after they fell short 4 years ago. Stanley Menzo, a proud original native of Suriname before living and playing in Holland for so many years, winning 2 European trophies with Ajax, multiple Dutch titles as well. Wants to get the nation of his birth to their biggest stage yet. Good shielding of the ball, and a free kick won by Suriname just in the attacking half. It's kind of strong hold-up play that they want from Justin Lonwijk. Talked about this very pleasing style that Panama play these days. They're on the defense here. That's a neat back heel flick, and the one-touch ball toward the left for Richanel Margaret. Flag has stayed down. Margaret pulling it back for Ridciano Hops. Plays in Italy with Venezia. Now into the middle it goes. Bounces out to the top. Paul tries to recycle it far side. It takes a deflection and runs through to Orlando Mosquera. He's made Panama's #1 goalkeeping shirt his over the last several years. Plays in Saudi Arabia. Talking about Panama's very pleasing aesthetic style. They went to a very pragmatic one in El Salvador 4 days ago in that massive 1-0 win at the Cuscatlán. The free kick here on the halfway line. Tomas Christensen said in the build-up to this game, he was asked by the press to describe his ideal match tonight. He just said, win. He said after their first 2 games of this group last month, the players and staff saw there had to be a change. And he said you saw it carried out in training and in the game against El Salvador. And we're okay with sitting back, being patient, picking their moments to come forward. This is a free kick for Suriname. Edgar Barcenas, after losing his footing, called for handball. We'll see Suriname not afraid to play out from the back, even though they figure to be under pressure tonight. Because some of these players came up through Dutch academies. They are taught that Dutch style, and they want to play with the ball at their feet. They're not going to lump it long unless they think there's a benefit to it. Flag was up, so a free kick for Panama over 5 minutes in. Both these head coaches actually talked yesterday in the pre-match press conference about the need to be patient in this game. You see the offside was tight. Tomas Christensen said it's not a game that needs to be won in the 1st minute, the 5th, or the 80th. If the goal comes in the 5th minute, that'd be great, but the guys need to enjoy and be calm. Win it back here and able to get turned right away. Jose Rodriguez able to work it out on the left side. Now Barcenas on that little underlapping run. His progress was cut off. Now Coco Carrasquilla, the key man for them in the middle of the park. Fans howling for a foul, nothing given. They want to get Carrasquilla on the ball as much as possible, Panama, of course. He's the 2024 CONCACAF Men's Player of the Year. atmosphere bubbling in Panama City. Martinez. Now Rodriguez and Carrasquilla. Carrasquilla, so good at playing those incisive balls between the lines. Doesn't score many goals himself, but sets up so many for Panama. Links play between that back line and the forwards. They really struggle when he's not in the lineup. Thomas Christensen's smile, hiding how much pressure he and his team are under. Good run down this right side. Jose Rodriguez, the first time cross. It's an excellent block, and it's a goal kick. Well done by Shaquille Pinas, the captain for Suriname. Sliding in feet first, getting the block and deflecting it off of Rodriguez. Prevent the game's first attacking set piece. Yeah, good decision as well. Excellent spot by whether it was the center referee or the assistant referee who made that call. They were right on. Here's where Suriname are totally fearless, playing away from home in a tough environment. They play it short, play it out of the back. They don't mind. That goalkeeper Etienne Vossen in the press conference yesterday said, I like atmosphere. I like hostility. Faced plenty of that in San Salvador last month. Impressively won that game 2-1 and deserved to. That was a win that turned heads all around the world, really. Great ball over the top. Allowed to bounce by Barcenas. Able to take possession by the corner flag. Infield ball for Fajardo. Looking to get turned with it. 3 white shirts around him. And Vossen again with the greatest of calm. Plays it straight out, but then it's given away to Carrasquilla, who shields it off and moves it along. Tackles flying in, shouts flying from the crowd. On we go. Referee Selvine Brown clearly letting things go so far tonight. Fajardo dispossessed from behind. This will be the game's first corner. Both these teams scored from corners in the last international window back in September. Suriname scored on the second phase from a corner in the second to last minute of stoppage time to salvage that draw against Guatemala earlier this week. Panama scored at this end direct from a corner against Guatemala last month. Martinez plays it short, gets it back at the angle. Suriname read that well. Now it's floated in by Carrasquilla toward the back post. Header back into the middle, and it's well read again by Suriname and cleared out into touch. Suriname handling every phase of that, even though they temporarily left Fidel Escobar with an unmarked header at the back post. Over 10 minutes played, 0-0 Panama-Suriname. Suriname on top of Group A at the start of this game. Elsewhere in CONCACAF qualifying tonight, Curacao and Trinidad and Tobago playing to a 1-1 draw in Willemstad. That is in Group B, the All-Caribbean group. Jamaica with a 3-0 lead over Bermuda early in the second half. So as things stand, Jamaica are going to go back to the top of Group B by a point over Curacao. It's turning into a great battle there. Curacao upset Jamaica 2-0 last week in Willemstad on their national day. Took the early lead against Trinidad tonight, but Trinidad a second half goal. And they ended 1-1. Jamaica, the heavy favorites in that group, will be back on top unless Bermuda stage a miraculous second half comeback in Kingston. Jamaica 3 goals in an 11-minute span in the first half to take command of that game. Again, coming up later, it will be El Salvador and Guatemala in San Salvador. 2 teams in 3rd and 4th in this Group A behind Panama and Suriname. Game kicking off about 45 minutes from now. So if these two teams were to draw here tonight, if El Salvador were to win against Guatemala, we could have 3 teams all on 6 points in Group A by the end of the night. Vossen, he will make things interesting, and he gives that away, and it's first timed wide. And the adventures of Etienne Vossen rear their head for the first time this evening. It fell to Edgar Barcenas, and he couldn't catch it cleanly. Otherwise, Suriname had big problems. Shaquille Pinas played it back to his goalkeeper. Vossen felt he had to hit it first time and sliced it. Unfortunately for Suriname, so did Barcenas. It is a slick surface tonight. We had a lot of rain in the few hours leading up to the game. Jose Rodriguez down off the chest. And down from Michael Murillo, their elite attacking fullback who plays for Marseille in the French Ligue 1. This is his 90th cap tonight for Panama. It's arguably their greatest and most accomplished player, at least on a club level, in their modern era. A big part of their attack down that right side. So they rely on Carrasquilla to progress the ball through the middle of the park and link those lines. They rely on Murillo down that right to get down that flank and serve in quality crosses. The one issue for Panama at times over the last 5 years, as well as they've tended to play under Thomas Christensen, as this goes around the back, and it's going to fall for Fajardo here. Not convincingly dealt with this time by Pinas. Fajardo continues for Martinez. Martinez trying to cut along the end line, and does. Martinez, the pullback, and it's wide. First big chance of the night for Panama, and they could not put it away. The captain, Eric Davis, on his 100th cap for Panama, almost marked it in the perfect way, but could not finish. The angle was difficult. He had a defender slightly putting him off. That was Javon Anderson, who did just enough. And Thomas Christensen knows what a big moment that could have been. This is a veteran-laden Panama side. It's another reason this World Cup cycle is seen as a must for them. Now that next qualifying cycle, this team could look very different. For so many players, this is their last chance to go to another World Cup. Got there in 2018 for the first time ever. Fell short in 2022. Talking ever since about how they cannot let that happen again this year. This country has made such great progress in this sport. And they feel they must continue it and get to the United States, Mexico, and Canada next summer. 15 minutes played tonight, 0-0. Panama with the one big chance so far. Carrasquilla off to a strong start in this game. Clipping it for Barcenas. Running into a wall of white. There's space on this right side for Murillo. Murillo swings it in for Fajardo, heads it over. He got up, but could not get it down. Well, that's what they want, though, from Michael Murillo. Get it out wide to him. Let him serve in crosses from all kinds of angles. And he has such quality with his right foot. Fajardo just got stuck behind it a bit as he rose up. That's a good ball out of the back. Suriname, though, struggling to connect forward. Panama need to make this period pay off. Andres Andrade. Taken away from Rodriguez. Now can Suriname be clinical on the counter? They have the time and the space to do so, and they're 2v1 at the back. Into the middle it goes, and it's crucially deflected out. They had a man unmarked streaming down the middle. That was Richanel Margaret, and it did not reach him because of the track back by Jose Rodriguez. Corner for Suriname, their first of the night. Well, that's the transition danger that Suriname posed, and that was exactly what they want. Sat back, got themselves on the ropes, and then counterpunched, and they almost caught Panama right on the chin. They still could, of course, from this subsequent corner. They scored from their first corner against El Salvador last month in the Cuscatlan. Keep an eye on big number 3 there, Radinho Balker. He scored in San Salvador last month. They have some height from these set pieces. Geraldo Becker, their 30-year-old veteran left winger, plays for Osasuna in Spain. Quality deliverer with his right foot. Becker's outswinger. It was a good-looking ball. It was a better clearance under pressure by Andres Andrade. Now Christian Martinez looks to counter for Panama. Doesn't have much help at the moment. Finds some support. Good pushback, though, from Suriname in the past couple minutes. Fascinating battle in Concacaf qualifying, Group A. After tonight, there will be only 2 games left in this final qualifying round. Those will be played next month in November. Who will be punching their ticket to FIFA World Cup 2026? That is all in the balance right now. Expanded field, of course, this time around. 48 total nations qualifying, up from 32. So CONCACAF with 6 spots at least. United States, Mexico, Canada automatically qualified as host nations. This goes over the top. Out comes Fossen, and he needed to. Got there just ahead of Eric Davis. Good movement from Panama. Etienne Vossen, another who plays in Holland. Suriname, again, passing themselves into some trouble out of the back. Martinez, Carrasquilla took a tumble. And now the referee pulls play back for that foul. He was allowing advantage for a moment. Free kick now for Panama. Justin Lonwijk whistled for the foul. Nearly 20 minutes gone. The longer this game goes at 0-0, the more nervous this crowd might get. Chip toward the backside. Panama win the first contact. Suriname deal with the subsequent ball, though. Oh, they had numbers on the break, and that's a wonderful ball from Becker to turn it into the path. And it's 2v1 at the back again. And it's played into the middle. It's a huge chance for Margaret, who scores for Suriname. And Suriname surge ahead in this massive World Cup qualifier. They're doing it again. They're shocking the world again. And their World Cup dreams get bigger and bigger every moment. It looked like the chance to transition was gone, but what about that quality from Geraldo Becker, turning and hitting it, and suddenly it was 2v1, and this time the pass got through to Margaret, and Orlando Mosquera had no chance, and Suriname have every chance. What about this ball from Jaron Sherry? Crucial assist from him. He's 37 years old. He had retired from the national team 2 years ago. He just decided to come back 2 weeks ago. He changed his mind, and he may have changed Suriname and Panama's World Cup destiny. Well, everyone having to catch their breath after that. Stanley Menzo could not have envisioned a better execution of a counterattack after they'd soaked up some pressure. Now, how did Panama respond? When they fell behind here against Guatemala last month, they equalized within 2 minutes, but they were never able to find a winner. Had to settle for a 1-1 draw. Well, now it's perfectly set up for Suriname. A lot of game left, but they wanted to play on the counter anyway. Now they have a lead. They can do that even more. Rodriguez, Panama will have to come at them now. They have to stay patient too. Easier said than done. This is a game they feel obligated to win. A draw wouldn't mean they're out of qualifying hopes, of course. They'd still both be on 6 points if this ends in a draw. But Suriname came in leading thanks to that second tiebreaker, which is goals scored. So if this ends in a draw, Suriname would still top the group with just 2 games left. This was Panama's chance to finally take command of this group that they were widely predicted to win comfortably when the draw was announced. Here is Giovanni Ramos. Ramos didn't catch it. And Ramos, the one change to the starting 11, had to come in early against El Salvador after Jose Cordoba left with an injury in the 12th minute. Here's Carrasquilla trying to turn it around. Great feed. Barcenas didn't catch it either. And it's tamely into the hands of Etienne Vassen. Well, they're creating openings, Panama. That's a fantastic touch from Carrasquilla. And then a second. And then the ball is sublime as well. It's so good from Coco Carrasquilla, but they've got to make that count, his teammates. And if there's one criticism you can have of this Panamanian team under Thomas Christensen, it's that they've tended to waste chances over the last few years. They're frustrated being called for a foul here. Panama, as well as they often play, as aesthetically pleasing as they've become, they do tend to have games where, despite their domination, they don't quite make it count on the scoreboard as much as they might. And that's already cost them a couple times in this qualifying campaign. Here's the goal. What a pass. Remember, they had that 2v1 opportunity just a few minutes prior, and they couldn't quite execute it. Last man was able to get back for Panama and block the pass. This time, the square ball right into the path of Richanel Margaret, who scores just his 2nd goal for Suriname. Another who plays his club soccer in Holland. He scored his first at the Gold Cup this summer in a crazy 4-3 loss to Costa Rica. This one, much, much bigger. And who knows how big it could become by the end of November. Panama crowd and players frustrated with the Suriname player down on the deck. That is Kenneth Paul, formerly of QPR in England, now playing in Turkey. Looks like Suriname might have to make an early change. They have Darasso Klaas perhaps getting ready to come on. Thomas Christensen frustrated as well. It looks like the center referee Selvine Brown is having issues with the communication setup. Of course, Panama want this game to get back underway. They want to keep the tempo and the pressure as high as possible on Suriname. Every little stoppage, especially now that Suriname are leading, helps the visitors. This is where Panama have to keep their heads, and it's so difficult in these settings, in these situations. They can't let their frustration affect their game. They still have a lot of time left to turn this around. Suriname scoring early, especially in the way they did. The stuff of Panamanian nightmares. If you thought about how Panama might lose this game, that was exactly how you thought it might happen. They still have plenty of quality and plenty of time to change that outcome. Talking about quality, Suriname showing the world how much quality they have these days. This is played long. Murillo trying to get on the end of it. Defended very well. It's back to him now, Murillo. Back for Martinez. Murillo again. Does well to skip away from two. Rodriguez. Murillo showed for the underlap. Didn't get the return. Pulled back for Fidel Escobar. Now there's Murillo. And Murillo clips it in. Great ball! And the chance was there again for Panama, and it's volleyed over the bar. Yoel Barcenas has had a couple opportunities in this first half hour. That cross is so gorgeous from Murillo again. And this is the frustration sometimes for Panama. Lack of finishing clinicality in front of goal. Couldn't keep it down. Christian Martinez claiming a hand to the face. Referee gives the foul. As it stands, Suriname heading 3 points clear at the top of Group A. Ooh, it's actually a shoulder to the face on Martinez. From Kenneth Powell. In El Salvador, Guatemala later tonight. Over the top Fajardo, there's Vassen. Fajardo scored that winning goal in San Salvador last week. That's turned over to Rodriguez. Suriname caught a bit for a moment. They're scrambling back to position. Carrasquilla plays it wide. Onto the right foot it goes. Now plenty of time and space for Davis. Clips it up backside. Murillo! Defended excellently, and then Murillo called for the foul against Ridciano Hops, who put himself in the way bravely. Took the head contact from behind as he was flicking that ball clear. Davis stood it up very well. That's very good from Ridciano Hops. Over half an hour gone in Panama City. 60 minutes to play. Thomas Christensen's side. Still trying to adjust to having a target on their backs. It's a strange situation, really, for Panama to be in. A slip there, and they're able to recover from it. That was Eric Davis, who was in trouble for a moment. Able to play out, and Murillo looks for options forward. Sprays a gorgeous cross-field ball. His technical quality is so good. Now the step-overs. And the clip toward the top of the six. And shouts for handball. Rodriguez got his head to it and then claimed it came off the arm of a defender in front of him. Of course, the VAR room will take a look, as they do everything. There's a throw for Suriname. Is there anything more to that? Selvine Brown puts up the hand, indicating hold on. Let's let VAR check this. That definitely comes off the arm, doesn't it? And the question will be, is that arm in an unnatural position? Well, apparently it's been cleared, so on we go. Maybe the proximity was the saving grace for Suriname there. Defender was very close to the ball when it came off his arm. Angled ball from Margaret. Flag goes up offside. atmosphere at the Estadio Romel Fernandez. Much more quiet and much more tense now than it was at kickoff. These fans know if they lose this game, the World Cup dreams aren't over, but they would be on thin ice. Rodriguez, Murillo, Giovanni Ramos. Murillo, Ramos makes the underlapping run, trying to check back onto his left. Not allowed to do so by the defender. Suriname defending very well on their back line. Playing a textbook away match right now. Great defending when they've needed to. Ridden their luck a couple times with Panama missing a couple good chances. Scored in transition on a clinical counterattack. That's how you do it, especially in World Cup qualifying away from home. Especially as a nation that's never been to a World Cup. Suriname are deadly serious about changing that. Stanley Menzo actually invited members of that 1977 team that came the closest that Suriname have ever come to qualifying for a World Cup. He invited them to Suriname last week in the build-up to their first game of this window against Guatemala. They addressed the team at an event with the squad. Menzo said he told the former players of 77, you were one step from the World Cup. Maybe the step was too big for you at the time, but now we're also a step from qualification, and what you couldn't achieve, let's try to achieve it now. This loose ball finally cleaned up by Martinez, and Mosquera has to do the same, racing off his line. Two Suriname players in each other's way for a moment, but they're able to recover. Already Suriname have generated so much attention from the Surinamese diaspora around the world. Of course, there's a huge amount of Surinamese in Holland. And a lot of pride there in what Suriname have done so far in this qualifying campaign. Giorgio Wijnaldum, who of course has played almost 100 times for the Dutch national team. He has Surinamese roots. He was at Suriname's game last week in Paramaribo. He's made a big charitable contribution to the country and their sporting infrastructure, and he hopes that more and more will join him. But if they could actually get to the World Cup, that would transform so much for their entire sporting infrastructure. It's already transformed so much just in the last several years. Carrasquilla wins this back though for Panama and charges forward, trying to drag his side back into this game. Wide for Murillo again. Murillo looks, plays the underlap. Rodriguez crosses with the left. And Davis was crashing in, but it was defended away from him. Recovered by Carrasquilla. Flip for Murillo, got past him, taken by Rodriguez. Rodriguez bends it backside. Davis up for it, header down wide. Trying to put it back into the mix, but it's a goal kick. So far, one of those nights for Panama. Lots of good play, lots of good sequences. No finishing yet. And Suriname have found a finish. As a result, have found a one-goal lead late in this first half. This is the puzzle Panama have to solve. Backheel pass was clever, just a bit too much on it. Good idea between Davis and Andrade. Fawcett puts his man immediately under pressure from Martinez. Referee, though, gives the foul. clever back heel idea that was, but a little bit too much heel. Suriname been sitting back since scoring that goal, but they can spring into that attack at any point. And this is clipped back in, and a chance for a second. Back post, big save, Mosquera. Second ball, some shouts for a penalty from Suriname. It's still alive on the edge of the box. Pulled back for Kenneth Paul. He'll calm it down on the flanks. Everyone resets for a moment. Attack still alive, though, for Suriname. Paul onto his left. Paul shoots, and it's over the bar. Suriname so close to a second. How about this save from Orlando Mosquera? How vital might it be by the end of the night? It's a fantastic ball in, and it falls at the back post, and it was such a good chance for Geraldo Becker. Point blank from Mosquera, though, to keep it out and keep it at 1-0. Oh, Geraldo Becker caught it pretty well, honestly. First time on the half volley. Not a lot else you can do with that. You just want to get it on frame. He does end up putting it straight at the keeper. Still a good stop from Mosquera. And if Panama are able to turn this game around, remember that save. Panama get to the World Cup next summer. Remember that save. Remember, only the group winners in these final 3 Concacaf qualifying groups. 3 groups of 4, 12 teams and nations remaining in this final round of qualifying in the Concacaf region. Only the 3 group winners go directly to the World Cup. Very little margin for error. This is a foul against Panama, against Coco Carrasquilla. So when we talk about these two sides being level at the top of Group A with just 2 games left after tonight, that's why this game's so massive. There's the foul against Carrasquilla. And we're at that stage of the first half where Suriname will want to just manage this to halftime if they can and make sure they keep that lead. Let that pressure grow and percolate on Panama. Michael Murillo on the charge. Suriname able to read it, though. And they have a free kick. See the skill that Suriname have, and it's in those little moments there in transition. Jaron Sherry's been outstanding in this first half. He assisted their goal. He would have assisted their second goal if not for Mosquera's fantastic save a moment ago. And that little motion there to protect the ball and earn a foul and a free kick and a stoppage in play for his team. Those little moments very valuable as well. And Sherry, 37 years old. It's only his 7th cap for Suriname. And in 2023, under a previous head coach, he retired from international duty. Said he wanted to spend more time with his family. He's still been playing various clubs around the world. Formerly of QPR in England, currently playing in Holland. And he's been in incredible form in Holland. He has 3 goals and 3 assists in his first 6 games of this season for NEC. Oh, Rabona pass down the right side. How about that? That was Sherry. You can see the confidence he's playing with. And this is a free kick, though, for Panama. Ball intended for Murillo. It's not very convincingly cleared. It's going to bounce out for a corner for Panama, who will be desperate to equalize before half. Thomas Christensen asking for this crowd to raise their level again. Barcenas leaves it for Eric Davis. Davis delivers, near post, sent over the bar. Fajardo with another chance. Strong run, angling in front of the defender. Fajardo's had a couple opportunities with his head in this first half. He's in Ecuador for Universidad Católica. Christian Martinez had his heels clipped. Not the worst foul from Justin Lonwijk. Crowd angry that he's not carded. Lonwijk doesn't foul him there. Martinez had room to run. Fidel Escobar. Is there another goal in this first half? Goals just before half are so critical, of course. Carrasquilla looking for Murillo. Luciano Hops sent it into touch. Suriname so close to seeing this out to halftime with a goal advantage. Rodriguez. Murillo. Murillo clips it into the area, looking for Fajardo. Volleyed clear by Radinho Balker. A couple stoppages in this first half. We'll find out how much stoppage time that will mean a few seconds from now from fourth official Ricangel de Leca. Martinez trying to chip it down the line for Murillo. Rodriguez. Barcenas, that is, couldn't connect with Murillo that time. Throw for Suriname. They won't be in a hurry. Being told there will be 5 additional minutes. We are into those 5 minutes now. There is the indication. So Panama still with time to grab something back before the half. It's Suriname, though, who win the ball in the center circle and look to launch one of those dangerous counterattacks. Geraldo Becker shielding and protecting. Kenneth Paul. Luciano Hops. Shaquille Pinas now playing in Saudi Arabia. Previously played in Holland's top flight, also in Sweden. Look at that calm pass from the center back spot, and that sets Suriname away again. Needed a good defensive action. That's where Suriname are so dangerous. As much as they can sit in and absorb pressure, they're always only one pass from springing something the other direction. And they have the quality to make that pass. And we've seen it a few times in this first half, including on the sequence that led to their goal. Carrasquilla. Free kick. Chance to serve something in from the flanks. This attacking set piece. First half stoppage time. Carrasquilla bumped by Lonwijk. Panama dug in and found a second half goal to win ugly in San Salvador last week. They're going to have to do something similar tonight, except this time they'll have to come from behind. Eric Davis delivers with the left. Oh, it's not a good header clear. Shouts for handball. It's still alive by the penalty spot. All kinds of chaos, and finally it's volleyed and looped just wide, and it's a goal kick. Couple appeals for handball from the Panamanians. Sylvine Brown putting the hand up. has been checked and cleared. Jamaica, by the way, now leading Bermuda 4-0 late in the second half, so they are heading back to the top of Group B. They'll be a point ahead of Curacao with 2 games left to play. This ball back, it's left short, and Fajardo almost got around Vossen. Vossen just got enough on it. Referee allows play to go on. It's Rodriguez, and it's put out for a corner. Almost a disaster moment for Suriname at the back. After they defended so well this entire first half. It was a simple back pass, and it was just left short, and Fajardo racing in, and Vossen just got his toe to it. And perhaps the last chance of the first half for Panama. And Davis will take it with the left. Curling out swinger, Vossen out to punch. Carrasquilla at the angle. Davis out wide. Faking with the left. Back for Carrasquilla, who clips in with the right. Martinez chests it down. Christian Martinez! Saved by Vossen. And Martinez clips it back in. It's going to bounce all the way to Carrasquilla in the final minute of first half stoppage time. And Carrasquilla couldn't beat the first man with that next ball. It's kept in play. Oh, good skip by Davis. He ghosted past Lonwijk. His cross in wasn't the best this time, though. Cleared out by Denswil. Throw for Panama. 40 seconds left in the half. Panama so close to tying this game. They still might. Carrasquilla into the box. Carrasquilla still. Coco Carrasquilla safe. Second ball. What a second save from Vossen. He keeps it out twice and keeps Suriname in the lead. He robbed Fajardo twice, and the second one was better than the first. Corner for Panama with seconds left in the half. Outswinging ball, flicked away. Top of the area, volleyed down. Martinez after it. We've had the 5 minutes. Martinez back in with the right. Heads go up, and it's headed clear. Down from Carrasquilla. Crowd urging him to shoot. Wide for Davis instead. Davis's cross, back post, back into the middle, and cleared out into touch. Thomas Christensen trying to keep it alive, but the referee, Selvine Brown, blows for halftime. What a first half in Panama City. And what an intriguing second half we have ahead of us. Suriname surviving into the break, keeping their lead through 45 minutes. It came on a lethal counterattack, and the finish from Richanel Margaret in the 21st minute. Panama, the heavy favorites in this game and in this group. Right now it's Suriname who would go 3 points clear at the top of Group A with just 2 remaining if they can hang on in the second half. Panama, though, posing plenty of danger. They have not found the finish yet. They need to in the second 45. But at the break in Panama City, in this crucial World Cup qualifier in Concacaf Group A, it is Suriname 1, Panama 0. What a first half in Panama City. Panama and Suriname, so much skill on display. Two sides that have improved so much in recent decades. It was Panama who started the game on the front foot, as you expected them to. Christian Martinez setting one up for Eric Davis from about 8 yards out, and he just couldn't angle it into the corner. Such good work from Christian Martinez. Davis just put off enough by the defender Javon Anderson. Panama kept on knocking, and this free kick toward the backside was headed into the middle. And it would result in a Surinamese counterattack. And Geraldo Becker right here looked like the chance was gone, but what a turn and what a first-time ball over the top to send away Jaron Sherry, and his ball into the middle for Richanel Margaret was finished off deliciously into the corner. And Suriname had the lead in the 21st minute. And this was exactly the danger that we talked about coming in. Their ability in transition, their skill, their quality, and the 37-year-old Sherry beautifully setting up Richanel Margaret for just his second goal in Suriname colors. And exactly the kind of goal that they envisioned scoring tonight. Their traveling fans went wild. Their supporters back home and around the world, especially in Holland, I'm sure going wild as well. So it was 1-0, and it stunned this crowd in the Estadio Romel Fernandez. Panama did their best over the rest of the first half to haul that goal back, and they had several opportunities to do so. This one not hit with a lot of power by Edgar Barcenas after Coco Carrasquilla did so well to set him up. Etienne Vassen able to make a fairly comfortable save. Michael Murillo with a cross here that was volleyed over the bar by Jose Fajardo. Had a few good opportunities in that first half. Suriname almost scored a second, though, off another clinical counterattack. Geraldo Becker robbed at the back stick by Orlando Mosquera, who made that point-blank save. Otherwise, Panama could have been 2 goals down. But the alarm bell certainly ringing for them. Panama finished the first half with a big flurry. There were shouts for handball here on the delivery from Eric Davis. It was Stefano Denswil who apparently didn't commit a handball infraction. Then Christian Martinez with a shot that Etienne Vassen was able to palm away. It looked like it fooled him, maybe knuckling a bit, maybe he saw it late, but he was able to get the right arm up and keep it out. Then Coco Carrasquilla with seconds remaining in the half. Vassen a save at his near post, and what a second save to rob Jose Fajardo on the doorstep. Look at this. Fajardo looked certain to equalize. He did not, thanks to Etienne Vassen, who helped Suriname into the break with a 1-0 lead. Well, how about some numbers from those first 45 minutes? Panama outshooting Suriname 12-3. The only stat that counts, of course, is the goals column. That's where Suriname have 1 and Panama none. 69% of the ball for Panama. Can they turn it around in the second half? Find out next. Back for the second half in Panama City. It is a tense 45 minutes ahead for Panama and Suriname, with Suriname leading by 1-0 since the 21st minute when Richanel Margaret finished off a gorgeous counterattack. Both sides had chances to score more in the first half. Panama created a bunch, could not finish any of them off. A couple great saves from Etienne Vasson. Orlando Mosquera made a fantastic point-blank save to keep it at 1-0. Suriname have this set up exactly how they want it, to play on the counter where they are so skillful and quick. Panama, with all of their skill and all their flowing attacking play, they have to find some finishes in this second half. Otherwise, Suriname would surge 3 points ahead of them atop Group A with only 2 games left after tonight. Suriname in the white, Panama in the red. Referee Sylvain Brown getting set to get us back underway. It'll be Panama from right to left in this second half. And there is a halftime change for Suriname, as they are going to take off Kenneth Paul and they bring on Darasso Klaas, who scored their late winner in San Salvador last month at the Cuscatlan for his first ever goal for Suriname. He becomes the first change of this night. Hugely consequential second 45 begins now as Sylvain Brown blows the whistle. Off we go again in Panama City. Can Suriname see this out and pick up the biggest win in their country's history and move to the doorstep of the FIFA World Cup? Or will it be Panama to turn it around and reassert their credentials as the favorites in Group A? Play from Suriname. They win an early free kick. They played with a lot of maturity in that first half, especially after taking the lead. They frustrated Panama quite a bit. Justin Lonwijk dealt out some contact and some fouls in the first half, on the receiving end that time. This is such a veteran Panama side. So many players who could be on their last World Cup cycle. I've spoken for the last couple of years about how getting to Gold Cup finals has been great. Getting to a Nations League final and a couple semifinals has been wonderful, but it's really all about World Cup qualification. That's what they've been building to for the last 4 years, but they're up against it here. Suriname on the attack early in the second half. And they'll have a free kick. Frustrating first 90 seconds for the home side, who are hoping to come out and turn this around right away. Instead, it's Suriname who are going to have a dangerous attacking set piece. Darasso Klaas just on the pitch. Was able to lay it off for Richanel Hops, who took the contact. Jaron Sherry, a left footer around this free kick. He assisted their goal in the first half. Almost had a second assist. Completed a Rabona pass late in the half. He's playing with so much confidence at 37 years old. One Dutch analyst said last week that he's in the form of his life at 37. And you can see it. What we saw in that first 45. And it will be Sherry to take this free kick, and well, after all that build-up, this time a bit too much. Panama ended the first half with so much pressure, a flurry of shots and chances. Etienne Vasson made a fantastic double save. Just preserved Suriname's lead into the break. Now can Panama get themselves restarted? This is into the middle. It's overhit for Rodriguez. Vasson coming way out, as he often does, and having gotten to the ball by the touchline, just lumped it as far as he could. Ball boy doing a good job for the home side, allowing it to get back in play quickly for Davis, and now Rodriguez. Davis again, first time ball with the left. Headed away from the penalty spot. Down from Christian Martinez. Wanted to hit it right away. Square for Carrasquilla instead. Not his best this time, but he wins it back. And Coco Carrasquilla onto his right. Carrasquilla gets taken out, but the ball was taken first, and the referee sees nothing wrong with that. And Suriname are away on one of these dangerous counters of theirs. And it's Cherie into the middle intelligently, where there's lots of space for the counter-attacking Duraso Klaas, who gets tackled off it. It's a clean challenge, and on we go the other way. And that's the way this second half's going to be. As long as it stays 1-0 especially. Panama have to pressure. That's going to leave chances for Suriname to counter. Here's Davis. Fronted by two in white. Rodriguez. Clipping it for Fajardo. Wanted it to return. And it just never did, as Suriname got enough bodies in the way. Just runs out of play though. Panama trying to crank up the pressure. Carrasquilla, who will drift forward and then back into the midfield. Try to dictate play for Panama. Edgar Barcenas, back healing from Murillo. Centrally for Andres Andrade. Tomas Christensen again talked in the build-up to this game this week about needing to be patient. That patience has been tested by the way this one has unfolded. Free kick though for Panama, just over 5 minutes into the second half. Of course, they take it quickly. Fajardo lays it off first time for Rodriguez. Rodriguez slipping on the ball, somehow gets it back. Has Davis wide and uses him. And Martinez. Carrasquilla. Fidel Escobar. Crowd urging him to shoot. Clip toward the end line. Cut back. Vossen smothers. Fajardo was making the near post run, was trying to get across the goalkeeper. Wasn't quite able to get there. That's unconventional from Vossen, but very effective. For Cherie. Suriname can settle things down for a moment. That's a wonderful ball for Geraldo Becker. And Becker has a man in the middle, and his cross is blocked. Corner for Suriname. It has been a fearless first 52 minutes for Suriname away from home again. They won at the Cuscatlán, famous old stadium in El Salvador, last month. They are winning currently at the Estadio Romel Fernandez, and Geraldo Becker's outswinging ball, handled by Carrasquilla. Ball back is a bit dangerous. Works out for Suriname though, as everything has so far tonight, and it's back with Becker. And now Cherie from distance, on target, right at Mosquera though. That's the confidence Cherie's playing with though. El Salvador and Guatemala underway, of course. They're in the 14th minute, 0-0. Game kicking off an hour after this one. Being played at the Cuscatlán in San Salvador. Remember, El Salvador started the night on 3 points, 2 behind both of these teams. Guatemala started the night with 2. So Guatemala really need a win on the road. Tough ask in El Salvador. Flag is up for offside against Suriname. Suriname don't have to worry about the other teams, though. If they win this game tonight, their path to the World Cup becomes very clear. it would certainly not be clinched yet. There would still be lots of work to do next month in that final window, final 2 games of qualifying. Here's Rodriguez, though, trying to change the narrative for Panama. He dances through, and he's saved by the feet of Anthems, who keeps it out again for Suriname. Corner Panama. What a run from Jose Rodriguez. That's a terrific stop from Vaesen, too, who has to close the feet so quickly from close range. Crowd rising. Corner lifted back post. Heads go up, and it loops onto the roof of the net. Goal kick. And it just won't go in for Panama yet tonight. Watch this from Jose Rodriguez, though. Past 1. Past 2. And then the strike was clean, but Vaesen able to close the door. Again, Etienne Vaesen said in the press conference yesterday, I like atmosphere, I like hostility. He's embracing the moment tonight again. Suriname looking for those chances to double their lead. This runs out for a goal kick, though. So depending on how the rest of this second half unfolds and pending the outcome of El Salvador, Guatemala, there's one scenario where we could end up with 3 different nations all on 6 points in Group A. Or if Suriname hang on and win this game, and if El Salvador and Guatemala draw, Suriname could be 3 points clear with real daylight at the top of Group A. That's how fast things can change. That's how one goal either direction can swing the pendulum so much in a short qualifying round. Free kick Suriname. This was the save from Vaesen a moment ago. Really good look at it. Goalkeepers work on that, of course, getting down quickly to that shot right at their feet. Doesn't make it easy, though. Suriname throw by the corner. First change of the night coming for Panama. Ismael Diaz will come on for them. He won the Golden Boot at the Gold Cup this summer. He was terrific for them in that tournament. He replaces Edgar Barcenas. So Thomas Christensen takes off an attacking winger and throws on a forward. So 2 forwards on the pitch now, although Diaz can play out on the wing. So we'll see if it's a straight swap positionally or if Diaz goes up front to form a duo with Jose Fajardo. Panama have to go for it. Trailing by a goal in the second half. The game that they came into thinking they needed to win. They certainly cannot lose it, you would think. Wouldn't be out of contention for the World Cup if they do, but the path would become much more difficult. They go to Guatemala City next month, and then they're back home for the final game. But it would be out of their hands. They would need to win those games and get some help from Suriname's opponents. That's a good ball down the right. It's headed into the middle. Bodies arriving in red. Suriname able to steer it away from danger for now. Loose ball falls back to Panama. The flick from Rodriguez wasn't accurate. Comes off Murillo's face, I believe. And it's going to be a painful throw for Panama to concede. Christensen's been very blunt about how critical this World Cup qualification is for him and for Panama. Heavy favorites when these groups were drawn. But it has not been straightforward for Panama at all. Not tonight, not in this final group stage. Suriname having a lot to do with that. They win another free kick. So again, after tonight, 2 games left in this final qualifying round. They'll be played November 13th and 18th, at least in Group A. Here's the foul again. A little too much on the challenge from Murillo. So November 13th, Suriname will be at home against El Salvador in Paramaribo. Then Suriname will go to Guatemala to wrap up this last group stage. That'll be on the 18th. Panama, meanwhile, at Guatemala on the 13th, home against El Salvador on the 18th. What results would either of them need to win the group and qualify? That's all to be determined over this final half an hour plus tonight. Right now it's Suriname in command. But Panama still pressing the issue, trying to get back into it. The groans and the sighs from the crowd as they sit down again as the ball goes out of play for a Suriname throw. Thomas Christensen maybe trying to reshuffle things tactically on the touchline. Awkward ball for Panama to deal with. Just hung up on the end of the area, edge of the area. Mosquera couldn't come play it with his hands because of that. Work it back the other way though. Here's Diaz involved for the first time. Spreads it out to Davis. 60 minutes gone. Davis into the middle. It's a great looking cross, but again, Suriname's center backs have been excellent tonight. They make another clearance. Back for Carrasquilla though. Carrasquilla clips it forward. It's headed back. It's a chance, and it's, well, just not connected with it all on the half volley by Ismael Diaz. It would not sit down for him. And Vossen can calmly collect. Fajardo had gotten behind the back line, but his back was to goal, of course, and so he felt he had to just lay it back, cushion it back into Diaz's path. That high bounce undid Diaz. Ismael Diaz plays for Club León in Liga MX in Mexico. Panama searching for that breakthrough. Suriname happy to sit back and soak up for now. They'll race forward on the counterattack when they sense the opportunity. Carrasquilla, Davis. Sense the frustration from the home fans, the desire, the yearning. Murillo, end line. Murillo still into Vossen's arms. Etienne Vossen has had one adventurous moment tonight when he sliced a clearance under pressure. Fortunately for him and for Suriname, Edgar Barcenas sliced the attempt wide with a mostly open goal from about 20 yards out. It was just a few minutes before Suriname took the lead. How different might this game have looked so far if Barcenas had been able to convert that chance? That's a nice ball for Geraldo Becker, and he has one streaking down the middle in white. Becker faces up 1v1, but gets tackled off it very deftly by Eric Davis. He goes down holding his leg. Referee allows play to go on though. Murillo on the overlap with the speed, has space to deliver something from the end line. Slides it in low, and the second ball rolls harmlessly out, and Suriname survive again. They look for the counter with Becker, who has recovered quickly. Becker does very well, and then Carrasquilla's in the way. Carrasquilla takes it the other way, and Martinez can turn at the center spot and feed it forward for Rodriguez. And Rodriguez has Murillo to his right and accelerates on his own. Jose Rodriguez slipped for a moment, goes down looking for a penalty, nothing given. And nothing likely to be given either, you wouldn't think. He's still down in the box. I think he's hoping that will force VAR to take a harder and longer look at that. First glance, I didn't think there was enough in it to give a penalty, but let's see. He slips initially, and then, well, there is contact. More than I initially thought. Well, this will be a decision for the VAR room. Shaquille Pinas does step across him, does perhaps impede him. Does he impede him enough? Is there enough contact? It's certainly inside the 18-yard area. David Gomez of Costa Rica is the lead VAR tonight. There's a player down for Suriname as well. Well, it's been a frustrating night for those supporters in red through 65 minutes. Suriname to make their next change. It is Jean-Paul Boetius who will come on. In fact, it's a double change. They also bring on the veteran Dion Malone. Shaquille Pinas, who appears will not be penalized for that challenge a moment ago, comes off, and so does Justin Lonwijk. Martinho Balker has also made his way off. So Malone comes on for Balker. So maybe Shaquille Pinas is staying on, but just went off for some treatment for a moment. We'll confirm that in a second. But Boetius and Dion Malone definitely on. Malone making his 31st appearance, also plays in Holland, as many of these Suriname players do. Calming, stabilizing presence for the final quarter of this match. So much at stake for Suriname and for Panama. And Suriname, nothing to lose really, but so much to gain. Not fancy, not expected to qualify for the World Cup. Haven't come close to doing so since the 70s. If they win this game, they would be very close indeed. Not there yet, but with a real chance. Be at least 2 points clear at the end of the night at the top of this group, with the group winner going directly to the World Cup next summer. 2 games left after this one this evening. But still time for Panama to change that. Rodriguez cuts inside, rakes it cross pitch. Good ball for Davis, who chests it right down, and Davis lifts it into the middle. Vossen couldn't come for it, but his teammates cleared it away. Only as far though as Andres Andrade. Carrasquilla. Now the counter is on for Suriname, perhaps. Sherry, what skill, and Sherry can accelerate away. Sherry feeds it out to Geraldo Becker. Advantage being played by the referee. Suriname don't have many bodies forward, so they'll just pull it back sensibly. Sherry and Becker. Those two part of the triumvirate who combined for Suriname's goal in the 21st minute, which was scored by Richanel Margaret. Is making a possible World Cup of difference for Suriname right now. Prodded for Becker again. And Becker, the underlapping ball for Klaas. Top of the area. Sherry beaten away by Mosquera. Still in play for Hops. Curls back along the touchline. Big physical battle. Does well. Keeps it alive for Boetius. Boetius. Javon Anderson, Geraldo Becker, good spell for Suriname. Becker with his left foot, crossed the top of the 18, great takedown there, but then lifted back aimlessly. And Panama desperate to get up the other end of the pitch. Can't do it, though. They turn it back over. And it's Suriname who are putting the clamps down. Sherry. Suriname, if they don't have a clear route to goal, happy to just hold on to the ball and frustrate Panama as much as possible. Davis in the way of this. Crowd urging Panama forward as they finally get it back. Here's Ismael Diaz. Didn't play in San Salvador last week. He was on the bench, but an unused substitute. Carrasquilla given some space into the box, chested down there. Shouts for a penalty from the crowd. None of the Panamanian players really appealing. Referee says get up. Suriname win the second ball, though. The groans and the shrieks from the stands here at the Estadio Romel Fernandez getting more pointed and more pained as the minutes go by. Campaign would not be over. This would be a pretty disastrous loss for Panama if they don't at least equalize before the end of the 90 minutes. They take a draw at this point. That's not what they were looking for coming in. A draw would keep them second in the group on the second tiebreaker, goals scored behind Suriname. That's not a good ball. Suriname cleaned it up with Klaas. Into the final 20 minutes. Suriname continue to lead thanks to Richanel Margaret's goal back in the 21st. Here's Eric Davis, though, for Panama. Ball into the middle for Diaz. Ismael Diaz. Davis again. Steps around one. Now Davis in with the left. Lifts it back post. There was nobody there in red. Down by Carrasquilla. Crowd screaming at him to shoot. He didn't have the space or the angle to do it, though. Margaret presses through one challenge for Suriname and wins a throw. That's really good from Richanel Margaret. Here was the chance a couple minutes ago for Sherry, who was aiming for that corner. Didn't quite get it in the corner, and Mosquera able to get down with both hands and beat it aside. Mosquera's made two really good saves since Panama fell behind to keep them in this. Now they make a triple change for these final 20 minutes plus. Off goes Giovanni Ramos. Off goes Jose Rodriguez. Omar Brown, one of those to come on. Christian Martinez also makes way. Jose Murillo is onto the pitch, and so is the veteran Anibal Godoy, who is the all-time leading appearance man in Panamanian history. This is his 155th cap for them. Their most experienced player on a very experienced team. Thomas Christensen has one more change that he can make, but he's thrown most of his dice now. He has to hope that the final 18 minutes plus stoppage time throw up some better numbers than the first 72 have. More frustration with the Suriname player down. Panama restart the attack. It's on the left foot of Andres Andrade, and he drills it into the box, but repelled by another Suriname defender. Space out wide for Murillo. In with the right and just overshoots everyone. Three red shirts going near post or central. Andrade hits it low. Good stab away from that central defender. Davis, an excellent first touch. Crosses with the right. Those crosses just not connecting with anyone in red, and then hit with the left, but sliced wildly. just won't go for Panama. Suriname will make a substitution. They take off the goal scorer, Richanel Margaret. They will bring on Virgil Misidjian. This was the goal from Margaret in the 21st minute that is decisive for now. Wonderful ball from Sherry, and Margaret finishing it terrifically. It looks like a simple finish, but that's the point. He made it look simple. Didn't panic, didn't snatch at it, just calmly steered it first time into the corner. That's what you need in these big international games with World Cup qualification at stake. One thing to do it in training, another thing to do it in a hostile and crucial environment like this. Here come Panama though. Carrasquilla, boy do they need a big play from him. Clipped into the middle, but Carrasquilla has not been able to connect with teammates as much in this second half. Thomas Christensen desperate for his side to find something. Again, at this point, even though they so badly wanted to win to move themselves 3 clear of Suriname at the top of the group coming into tonight, right now they'd snatch your hand off for a draw, because that's the difference between falling behind Suriname by 3 points and staying even with them. Right now, staying even, albeit behind on goals scored, sounds great for Panama. 2 games left after tonight to determine that top spot in the group and that place in the World Cup next summer in the United States, Mexico, and Canada. Carrasquilla found well into the middle. Second ball takes a spinning deflection and is settled by Andrade. Final 15 of the 90. Suriname sitting back, soaking up. More desperation from these home fans. Good ball between the lines. First time ball into the box. And Fossen didn't have it run through to him. For once, he was slow off his line, but the veteran Dion Malone able to hack it into safety. Carrasquilla. And now Andrade! Touched over the bar by Fossen, who makes another save. It's a corner for Panama. It's still 1-0 to Suriname. Andres Andrade, after Malone had to lump this out. Watch how well Andrade hits this. Stepped into it, clean strike. Now the corner just skims off the top of Anibal Godoy's head. Great hustle to keep it alive on that far touchline. Panama reset. Back with Mosquera. Carrasquilla needing to pick the right pass. Easier said than done when you have 4 white shirts right in front of you. Si se puede is the chant. Fans doing everything they can to lift their team. Here goes the run from Brown. Leaves it for Fajardo. Wide for Murillo. Murillo off the bottom of a defender's boot. Carrasquilla couldn't take it cleanly. Suriname, though, can't get out. Panama have them pinned in. Now they're still trailing. And here's the strike by Diaz. It was blocked. Spinning into the box. Backward header, then flew just over the head of Fajardo. Now Cecilio Waterman, it appears, has also come on for Suriname. So Thomas Christensen now has 3 strikers on the pitch. Sometimes you have to do that in desperate spots, and they are desperate now. Davis. Here is Waterman. Scored that winning goal against the U.S. in the Nations League semifinal last March. One of the most memorable goals in Panama's recent history. They need something memorable now. Murillo receiving it by the end line, and Murillo gets the cross away. And it comes all the way through for Davis. First time. And here comes the chance. And Fossen spreads himself. Second ball into Fossen's hands. They cannot get by him. Etienne Fossen is the Surinamese wall tonight. Suriname shouting for handball. It's not given. And Panama come right back. Breathless final minutes. Crowd again shouting for a penalty. Referee finger wags that away. Now Andrade. And lifting it forward and flicked over the bar. Vossen came off his line and got himself stranded. Fajardo, though, again, could not be precise with the head. Fajardo definitely onside, but although he's been able to get up for several crosses tonight, he just has not been able to steer any of them on frame. Cristiano Hops, the player who stayed down, so he has to go off for now. There's such good work from Murillo to get the cross in. Davis quickly steered it for Godoy, and Fajardo, for a moment, looked like he was going to equalize. Vossen just gets that left arm out and able to deflect it down, and then somehow it falls back to his hands afterward. Well, this was the nutmeg moments prior to that by Omar Brown. Well, Suriname got themselves caught here. How did that happen? Now they're having to race back, and it's Ismail Diaz. Diaz dancing and laying it off. Carrasquilla switching to his left and then tackled off it. And that's off a Panama player last, and it's a throw for Suriname, which they will welcome. And we tick into the final 10 minutes in Panama City tonight. Will we look back on this night as the night when Panama's World Cup campaign that promised so much took a fatal turn? Could it be the night that Suriname fully announced themselves on the world stage and sent themselves on their way to a World Cup? Again, they won't clinch with a win tonight, but they would be clear at the top of Group A with 2 games left. The path to the World Cup would certainly be clear. The question would be, could they complete it? But a Panama equalizer would throw everything right back in the mix. Now here they come, and it's struck from distance and sliced wide. Ambitious from Omar Brown. Panama looking for any way through possible. Tomas Christensen has transformed this Panama program over the last 5 years. Yes, they reached the World Cup in 2018. Javon Anderson was carded, by the way. First booking of the night for Suriname. But if Panama don't reach this World Cup, everything that they've done over the last 5 years that has improved them so much, seen them grow in stature and respect around the region and around the world, it would be such a massive disappointment for that to not culminate in a World Cup for a second straight cycle. And Suriname on the counter, and Becker could be in behind, and way off his line is Mosquera, and Geraldo Becker scuffs it, and Mosquera held his ground bravely and was able to make the save unconventionally at the edge of his area. And Panama stay in it. That was a chance for Suriname to finish it off, and now it's drilled into the box for Fajardo, who takes it down. Fajardo, what a block! Incredible block, just when it looked like Fajardo was set to slam it home. It deflects off Fajardo, and he keeps it in play. Pinned in the corner, pings it low. Waterman was after it and nearly got there. It's out for a Panama throw instead, which they take right away. It is breathless. It's tense. Concacaf World Cup chaos. It's fantastic. Davis lifts it in, and it somehow falls to the edge of the area. Carrasquilla. Carrasquilla over the head of Waterman. Oh, Murillo has to be careful here. Becker picks his pocket, then back heels for Masijian, who is fouled. Well, it's another frantic Panamanian sequence that somehow doesn't end in a goal. Fajardo looks like he's in here, but what a recovery and what a sliding challenge from Stefano Denswil. This is absolutely fantastic. Vamos, vamos, Panama, the fans chant. Right Right now, a late equalizer would be greeted like a winning goal from this crowd and from this Panama team. Their World Cup dream could be slipping away if they don't find something late here. They could still turn it around next month, but it would be much more difficult. And Suriname now 2v2, make it 3v3. Edge of the area, Carrasquilla back to defend. And it's an opportunity at the top of the box, and it's struck with the right and curled wide. Well, the chance was Virgil Masidian's, a second-half substitute, and he couldn't wrap his foot around it. And Suriname are leaving Panama alive. And this is Ismael Diaz. Diaz clips it onto his right foot, top of the box, and screwed first time way, way, way over the bar by Omar Brown. And his look says it all. Diaz showing his skill, does well to find Brown. And still they press forward, Panama. They still do have time, not much. Diaz again. Wants to stay on that favored right foot. Anibal Godoy. Coco Carrasquilla. Can one of their leaders step forward? Brown. Toward the back post, and too much on it. 5 minutes of the 90 left. Godoy was crashing his back stick. And Suriname will make one more change. That is to remove Ridge-Seattle Hops and throw on Anthony Dijksteel. Ridge-Seattle Hops, a lung-busting 85.5 minutes tonight. Dijksteel on to try to reinforce things for the final few. Dijksteel, another who plays in Turkey. This will be his 16th appearance for Suriname. What would be Suriname's biggest win so far in their history if they could win this game? Their win at El Salvador last month was their biggest. This would surpass that. If they win one or two to take themselves into the World Cup next month, well, you get the picture. But this picture not finished yet. Margaret's goal in the 21st, holding up so far for Suriname. Panama keep knocking though, and they do so again with Eric Davis. Ismael Diaz. Curling it on that right flank. Murillo back involved for the first time in a bit. Underlapping run, chance to pull something back. It is Diaz again, dancing, lifting. Flicked away from Godoy, down for Davis. Eric Davis against a defender. Big shots for handball. Referee blows the whistle. What's he going to give? No indication from Selvine Brown. I think he's given the free kick on the edge of the area. Was that inside the 18? Panama's player certainly thought so. VAR will check, of course. Where does this handball occur? There's the line. That is close. Wow. From that angle. Boy, that is so difficult to tell. The original call could be crucial here. Again, the original call, I think, is just a free kick. This will be the best look at it. Oh, boy. That sure looks like it could be inside the 18. It's Javon Anderson, who's on a yellow as well. Yeah, right now, only a free kick has been awarded, but of course the VAR room, led tonight by David Gomez of Costa Rica. They will be checking this. Selvine Brown. His original decision was a free kick. Etienne Vossen setting up his wall. Panama players aren't concerned about the free kick. They want the penalty. And Ball Godoy telling his teammates to get away from the referee. Selvine Brown gesturing to leave him alone. Is Selvine Brown going to be summoned over to the VAR monitor pitch side? That's the question right now. This is the best angle on it. He is going to look at the VAR monitor. He has been summoned by David Gomez. And a yellow has been shown to the Suriname bench. So we are in an official VAR referee review now. And what drama this could set up as we tick towards second half stoppage time. Well, there's the freeze frame. Is he fully inside the 18? Is the ball fully inside the 18 when it contacts the arm of Javon Anderson? Not going to be able to see much from that angle in terms of where it is, inside or out. It's really that first look that's the best. I guess the question also could be, is the arm close enough to the body that it could be deemed in a natural position? So it appears that Selvine Brown is being shown two different things here. Is it actually handball? And is it inside the 18? I think the initial angle showed him that it was inside the 18, so now the question is it actually handball? He's made a decision, and it could decide who ends up going to the World Cup out of Group A. And he's taking his time, but after VAR review, it is not a penalty. Just a free kick for Panama, and in fact it's going to be a drop ball, I believe, because he said it's not a foul either. And indeed, if it was inside the 18, but it's not a penalty, that means it's just a drop ball. Eric Davis thinks it's still a free kick at least, and he's being told by Selvine Brown, no, just a drop ball because it wasn't a foul in the first place. And now the Panamanian players are confused about that. Well, this is the look from along that 18-yard line. It's definitely inside the area, I think, but is it handball? And Selvine Brown has decided it's not. And again, just because the ball hits a player's arm doesn't mean it's handball. If the referee judges that the arm was in a natural position and the player was not making himself bigger, then he doesn't have to give it, and he is not. And that could condemn Panama to an extremely damaging loss. And Panama, to be fair, had some 50-50 decisions go their way last week in that crucial win at El Salvador. And there are 10 additional minutes being added on. So we hadn't had an announcement of that yet from the fourth official. Now, it's not clear, since we've had that VAR review going on for the last several. We're already 2 minutes and change into stoppage time, so are there 7.5 minutes left, or would there be a couple beyond that as well? We'll just have to wait to find out. Point is, there's still game left to play. There is still time for Panama, and there's still work to do for Suriname to see out a famous, possibly massively consequential victory. But into the box it goes for Panama. Thumped back out by Suriname. Panama camped in the attacking half. Suriname just trying to hang on. Davis. Another 1v1 face-up by him. Across the top of the 18. Great ball for Diaz. Diaz with the left blazes it over. It's not his favored foot. And he couldn't hit the target with it. Stanley Menzo. What an achievement for him it would be if Suriname could get to the World Cup. What an achievement for the entire nation and the program. They could get very close with a win tonight. Panama, though, could swing that back with a late equalizer here. At least stay level on points, even though Panama would still trail on goals scored. That's a great ball by the end line. Andrade. Vossen comes out and smothers. And did he deflect it off the attacker too? No, it's a corner. Vossen stays down after. Corner for Panama. Vossen was claiming he deflected it off Andrade last. This is the aggression we talked about from Vossen. He came flying out along his end line. You can just see the nerves written all over Thomas Christensen now. Again, both these managers, both these head coaches, deeply influenced by Johan Cruyff and the Dutch total football system. It's been such a frustrating night for Panama and for Christensen. Stanley Menzo's men have led since the 21st minute when Richanel Margaret scored. It's still 0-0 between El Salvador and Guatemala, by the way. They're at halftime now. It would be a dream night for Suriname if they could hang on and win this game, and if those two teams draw, they'd be 3 points clear with 2 to play. But here comes the corner for Panama. Outswung by Davis, headed down, and finally hacked away. Oh, Suriname got away with that. All the way at his halfway line was Mosquera with a good ball back for Davis. And Davis toward the back post. Vossen rises and claims very well. He's been great tonight, Etienne Vossen. One shaky moment in the 15th minute. That one he ill-advisedly kicks straight to a Panama player. And the red tide attack again, scooped into the box. Heads go up, it's on the doorstep, and it creeps in. Panama score! Pandemonium in Panama City. Red relief, Panamanian parody, 1-1. They just kept scooping it into the mix, and finally it was touched along by Ismael Diaz. He didn't really mean to finish it that way. It doesn't matter how it goes in. It bundled in off his chest and off his thigh and maybe off his knee, and who cares for Panama? It went in. Finally it went in. And it's 1 each. And suddenly this place is alive again. Goal quickly checked and cleared. And there's still a few minutes at least left of stoppage time for either side to grab a winner. Right now, it would be Panama looking likelier. Suriname have had to dig in to defend for so long. Now they have to dig in for a draw. Panama want to win. What a swing this could be if they would find another goal. And it's Davis, and then Diaz, and Diaz by the end line, his cutback was blocked. Stays in play for Murillo. Diaz miscommunicates, and it creeps across the end line, and a goal kick for Suriname, who were so close. And remember, Suriname would stay on top of the group if they at least hold out for a draw. They'd stay level with Panama on 6 points each instead of leading 8 points to 5. That's the difference one goal, one moment can make. And Panama finally found that moment. Do they have one more in them? They have to be careful they don't get sucker punched. Remember, Suriname gave up an equalizer in the 73rd minute last month in El Salvador, and then came back and scored themselves a few minutes later to win that game 2-1. Dion Malone in an altercation. Here's a free kick for Panama. Andrade, clean first touch, scoops it into the box, back post, and it just hopped through the feet of Diaz. It's just a goal kick. Fantastic ball in, inviting somebody to tuck it home. Nobody could do it in red. Andrade's been very good. What a ball that is. It's good defending, though. Keeping himself between the man and the ball. In the final minute of the indicated 10, how much more might be added on beyond that? Panama pressing for a winner. This will be one of their most epic wins in their national team's history. And maybe one of the most important. If they could score another. It's into the middle for Godoy, and a ball Godoy. He had Davis screaming for it out wide instead. He went for glory. He's the most senior member of this team, so you can't fault him, but even though he's the all-time leading appearance maker in their history, he's only ever scored 4 goals for them. That's not really his game. So we tick past the 10 indicated minutes. We play on at the discretion of referee Selvine Brown, and Suriname have it. Might have a counter on here. It's Virgil Masigian who presses through. Was he dragged back? Masigian still in possession. Lays it off. Top of the box. Cherie onto his left. Cherie deflected. And it went wide. Oh, wow. Jaron Cherie got it onto that favored left foot. And it will be a late corner for Suriname. Stanley Benzo can barely breathe. He called their 0-0 draw with Panama and Paramaribo last month bad for his health. What's this game been like then? Geraldo Becker to deliver for Suriname. Becker curls it in. Heads go up. It's knotted away. Becker racing after it. He's able to keep it in. Becker lumps it back in. Thumped out again by Escobar. Panama looked to race up the other way. On we go. Suriname stretched. Next ball wasn't great, though, from Panama's perspective. Brown lost it. This game is wide open now. Either side could steal it. That's slick from Suriname. Selvine Brown looking at his watch. But on we go for now. Suriname want a free kick. They don't get it. Memorable night in Panama City. Is there one more memorable moment left in it? Nearly 12 minutes of second half stoppage time played. Back come the red tide again. And back wide for Davis. Davis looks to play the 1-2 and then thumps it into the middle. And Waterman, Fajardo that was, couldn't take it down. And there is full time, the end of a pulsating night. And it ends in a pulsating point apiece. Still a good result for Suriname, but it was nearly so much more. It keeps them in the top spot in the Group A for now on the second tiebreaker. Another underwhelming result for Panama, but considering the circumstances, still a welcome one. Diaz, in the 6th minute of second half stoppage time, salvages a point and keeps Panama at least from falling 3 behind Suriname. So 6 each with 2 to play. El Salvador and Guatemala could both complicate the picture as they play on in San Salvador. But here in Panama City, after a breathtaking night in which Richanel Margaret gave Suriname the lead in the 21st minute, a lead they held until nearly the very end, when Panama, through Ismael Diaz, scrambled an equalizer and kept their World Cup campaign very much alive. It will all be decided next month with 2 games left in November. One more drama-filled window in this final Concacaf qualifying round. But it's finished tonight in Panama City. Suriname 1, Panama 1. Well, what a game we've just witnessed in Panama City. It was a privilege to witness it. Both these sides going at each other. Panama started on the attack early in the first half. This cutback attempts could have resulted in the opening goal. Eric Davis arriving late and couldn't quite steer it on frame after wonderful work from Christian Martinez. He was able to keep in play and cut it back. Davis unable to finish. Later in the first half, Panama from a free kick looked to create danger, but instead it was Suriname who would sweep the other direction and would sweep themselves in front. Watch this from Geraldo Becker. Looks like the chance to counter's gone. Nope, he spins and hits it first time and hits it perfectly into the path of Jaron Sherry, who went into the middle for Richanel Margaret, who swept it home deftly. And that's the skill that Suriname have these days. That's the danger they pose, especially in transition. And it paid off for a first half lead. And it set the tone for most of the rest of the night. Panama would chase the game for a long, long time after that. And Suriname had chances to put this game away and never quite could. But they were so good on the counter, and never more so than here. Cherie was excellent. Margaret with the finish. 1-0 to Suriname. And Margaret had a kiss to blow to somebody. Panama tried to respond. They created a flurry late in the first half. This ball was sent over the top from Jose Fajardo off a good cross in from Michael Murillo. Panama created plenty of chances tonight, but there were chances for Suriname as well to double their lead right before halftime. A big point-blank stop from Orlando Mosquera. I said at the time, remember that if Panama are able to turn this game around and at least get something from it. Massive save to keep it at 1-0. Right before halftime, Panama nearly equalized. Martinez taking it down off the chest, forcing a save from Vossen, who saved it a bit unconventionally, but was able to keep it out with that right arm. And then with the final seconds of the first half, Carrasquilla on goal. Then the rebound, a wonderful save from Vossen to deny Jose Fajardo. Looks like Fajardo's going to tuck that inside the near post. Couldn't do it, and so it was 1-0 heading into halftime. So Suriname were in a strong position. They could continue to soak up pressure and play on the counterattack. That's how they like to play. And they did that for most of the second half. Panama kept on pressing and probing and looking for openers, and Jose Rodriguez almost found one all on his own, but Etienne Vossen made another good save, this one with his feet. Watch how quickly he gets down. It's a wonderful run from Rodriguez, but just a better save from Vossen. Jose Rodriguez kept trying to make things happen. There were several penalty shots for Panama. This one didn't look likely to be given and was not. And Suriname again had opportunities on the counter, and Cherie almost found a second goal. It's a good save again from Mosquera, who again kept his side in it, and that did turn out to be massive by the end of the night. Panama kept on looking for something, and this was another save from Vossen as he denied Andres Andrade, who stung it very well. Right at the goalkeeper, but still needed saving, and that was what it got. Panama kept trying. They kept it working in these wide areas, and finally the breakthrough came 6 minutes into second half stoppage time. Wasn't pretty. They don't care a bit. Into the middle it went, and it was scrambled home by Ismael Diaz, who was just trying to take it down off the chest initially. Ended up chesting and thighing and kneeing and maybe shinning it into the side netting, right into the goal, and suddenly it was 1-1, and Panama had new life. And Suriname, having hung on for so long, could not quite hang on across the finish line. And this big crowd, who had been so frustrated all night long, finally had something to celebrate. It ends a point apiece, and the two sides stay tied atop Group A. What a game. Well, we hope you enjoyed it. We certainly did. For our entire great production team, good night from Panama City. It finishes tonight in CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. Panama 1, Suriname 1.